नमामि मातृदेवताम्। नमामि मातृदेवतां नमामि मातृदेवतां नमामि मातृदेवताम्.
Namaste, my dear brothers and sisters. The love and blessings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo to all of you from Sri Aurobindo Ashram, Delhi branch. We just had an invocation of the Divine Mother in the melodious voice of Prem Shila. Today it's my privilege to introduce to you two Ayurvedic physicians, Dr. Surinder Katoch and her daughter, Dr. Mukta Katoch. I have known Dr. Surinder Katoch for more than 20 years. She and her daughter both, and in fact, also Mukta's father, they are all Ayurvedic physicians. Dr. Katoch, Dr. Surinder Katoch, I've known for more than 20 years. She is an MD in Ayurveda. She worked on the faculty of an Ayurvedic college and then had experience with the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga. And then she has set up her own practice, the Katoch Holistic Healthcare Clinic. She also is closely associated with the ashram and in fact has established the Ayurveda unit in the ashram, which provides, apart from consultation, also all the procedures, the massages and the panchakarma and various procedures. Her daughter, Dr. Mukta Katoch, went on to do her graduation in the best Ayurvedic school in the country, in Karnataka. And after that has completed her postgraduate studies. And I think it's quite obvious that her parents could create enough of an environment to inspire her to do Ayurveda. In fact, all these Ayurvedic physicians, this family of Ayurvedic physicians, are in Ayurveda because of the love and passion they have for this discipline. Otherwise, they could have easily gone in for allopathy. But they have made a conscious choice to study this ancient Indian system of medicine. And in that sense, they can be considered the sort of flag bearers and the torch bearers of this ancient wisdom. And apart from the knowledge that they have, one can sort of also see that they have a great passion for the subject. Today, we have a little different type of format as usual, as compared to usual. Instead of a straight talk, we'll depend more on a discussion. And what we'll do is we'll initiate the discussion, start it with some general things, then go on to questions related to nutrition. And while we are doing that, the participants can also think of whatever questions they have and put them on chat or ask those questions. So that's how this session will go. And we are experimenting with a new format and hope it will end up being a good learning experience for all of us. So with that, I pass on to Aditi, who is with me, to initiate the discussion.
All right. Welcome everyone, and welcome our two panelists for discussion today. We will just start with building on general questions which we have. So the first question which has come up, in fact, in all our sessions so far, in general also, like Dr. Katoch, you also speak about those 4 pillars of Ahara, Vihara, Vichara, Achar. So we would like to know from you, like, what is the importance of these 4 pillars in our life and how can one go about it? So if we can start with you throwing some light on these 4 pillars and see how we go from there. Can you just unmute yourself?
Am I audible? Yeah. Thank you, sir, Dr. Bijlani, and thank you, Dr. Aditi, for this wonderful session. And it's my honor to be with you all in this session. As the question which you had put was, yes, definitely, Ayurveda has a different philosophy, and the philosophy is that we believe in a rule of 4-4-4, which is basically a thumb rule of Ayurveda for health, for disease, for prevention, for rehabilitation. For all these things, a thumb rule in Ayurveda is a rule of 4-4-4. We require 4 things, and 4 are physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. Ayurveda talks about all these 4 health, and we need to work upon all these 4 every day. We cannot think that now is not my age for spiritual health, so I'll work upon spiritual health later on in my Vridhavastha. That is not the concept of Ayurveda at all. So we have to work on all the 4 types of health every day. And what to do for that? How do we get all 4 types of health? Is 4 things which we need to work upon for each health. It's not that we are working upon on Ahara for physical health, on Vihara for mental health. It's not like this. It's all 4. We need to work to gain each health, and they are Ahara, Vihara, Achar, Vichar. Ahara is food. So Ayurveda says, Jaisa khaye an, jaise khaye an, vaisa ho man. So food has a lot of role on all types of health, physical, mental, social, spiritual. So there are a lot of details in food which we go ahead. So food, as Dr. Bijlani has already written a book, Eat Wisely and Well. So it is not only on what we are eating, that food needs to be digested properly, assimilated properly, end up into nutritious food and end up into a complete circulation where each cell of the body gets proper nutrition. So therefore we have a very detailed prescription of food, different types we have, which we'll deal later. So that is what we say, Ahara is very important for all 4 types of health. Second point is Vihara. Vihara means our daily schedule. Our daily schedule starts from what time we sleep at night and what time we get up in the morning. From there, our daily schedule starts, which has totally been distorted. So Vihara, starting of the Vihara is the Brahma Muhurat. So we should get up at Brahma Muhurat. No one gets up at Brahma Muhurat nowadays. The percentage of people getting up at Brahma Muhurat is very less nowadays. And that is being a causative factor for a number of diseases, which again we can deal later. But in Vihara, first is we start with Brahma Muhurat, the time of getting up. Then what else we need to do? There are a number of things which we do. We need to work upon ourselves. In that, I always say one thing. What we need to do in a daily schedule, in that there is a phrase in Indian philosophy, and that is Dashmant Dan mein de. Give 1/10 in charity. So 1/10 in charity ka matlab, the answer which people take of this is 1/10 of your income. So usually people take the meaning is 1/10 of your income give in charity. But what I take the inference from this is 1/10 give in charity. I believe charity begins from self. Charity begins from home. And then charity goes towards society. जिसने अपने लिए कुछ नहीं किया, अपने परिवार के लिए नहीं किया, तो समाज के लिए किया तो क्या किया? Similarly, I say, जिसने अपने देश के लिए नहीं किया, तो विदेश के लिए किया तो क्या किया? So therefore, charity begins from self, and in this charity, I say, 1/10 given charity. 1/10 of what? We have 24 hours in our hand every day. So 1/10 of 24 hours, give to your own self. Then only we can work upon physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being and attain a status of holistic wellness. हम अपने को समय ही नहीं देंगे, so how will we get holistic wellness? So this is the problem of today. When people come to me for treatment, I always say, give time to yourself. People say, we don't have time. समय ही नहीं है. So if you don't have time for yourself, तो ये बिहार में जो आयुर्वेद में इतनी सारी चीजें बोली गई है, that you need to work upon yourself when you don't have time only for yourself. How will you work? So this is in Vihara. Take out 1/10 means 2.5 to 3 hours per day for your own self and give this charity to yourself. Sirf samay de, give time to your own self. So then we can do all those things which are told in Vihara. That once you get up, then what you need to do. This also we can take in the later questions. What all we need to do so that we improve our immunity. A point may come in future, so that we improve our immunity. So these all things which are told in Ayurveda, the do's and don'ts for the daily life in daily routine are to remain healthy right from head to toe, and to remain healthy at the mental, social, and spiritual level. So this all comes in Vihara. Then is Achar. Achar is our behavior, our moral values, our conduct. This is lost today. Neither this is taught in schools, nor it is taught in home. घर में किसी के पास समय ही नहीं है. Parents are busy at working. Children are in the hands of maids or they are in creche. तो कौन सिखाएगा ये? आचरण कौन सिखाएगा? बिहेवियर कौन सिखाएगा? मेड सिखाएगी या क्रेच वाले सिखाएंगे? This has to be taught by the person who has produced a child. This is the responsibility of that person who has produced a child. But nobody is ready to take that responsibility. That responsibility is left on somebody else. So how will the children who are coming up now, the upbringing which is going on, parents come to us for psycho-counseling of the child, because I'm also a psycho-counselor in Ayurveda. And they say the child doesn't listen. I always say it is faulty parenting. You did not give time. You could not inculcate the moral values in a child. You had no time for the child. Now the child will come up like this. And child will enter into incurable diseases. That is what is happening nowadays. So that is what the whole acharan. And when we talk about acharan, there is a lot of text in Ayurveda which is written about achara rasayan. Rasayan is something which builds up good body tissues. So this good body tissues are being built only on the basis of our behavior. We think body tissues are built only by food. Behavior has its own role. So this is what is conduct, the acharan, the achar involved in physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being. And the fourth is vichar. Vichar are thoughts. Nowadays, you also must be coming across all thoughts. Mind is always occupied. Wandering mind. Majority of the people come ahead with wandering mind. Mind is always wandering, never at rest. Mind is also wandering and body is also wandering in the form of multitasking. So we keep on doing multitasking. Number of things we are doing at one go. And this multitasking, according to Ayurveda, is highly, highly, highly injurious to mental health. Because the quality of mind is gun. Man ke gun hai ekatva aur anutva bhav. The ability of the mind to work is one time at one go. एक समय में एक ही काम करने की काबिलियत है मन की. But because of the anutva quality, anutva is very small, like an atom. Because of the anutva quality, हम एक ही समय में मन से अनेक काम करवाते हैं. Because mind can run in fraction of a second in number of areas. So therefore, what we do is we ask the mind to do a number of activities, 5, 6, 8 activities at the same time. This you can do for 5 years. This you can do at 8 to 10 years. And ultimately, you'll blast and end up into incurable diseases. This is how these sorts of psychosomatic disorders are coming ahead nowadays. All autoimmune diseases are coming ahead nowadays. So this is what is the role of. We have to dharma, artha, kama, moksha, purusharth, chatushtay. ये 4 चीज पाने के लिए उत्तम चीज क्या है? What is the most important thing written in Ayurveda is arogyam. Arogyam is no disease. आरोग्यम इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष पाने के लिए आरोग्य ही तो नहीं है आजकल, डिजीजेस से भरे हुए हम, तो फिर धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष कहां से पालेंगे? पाएंगे ही नहीं. So therefore we need to work upon 4 for 4, the thumb rule of Ayurveda. This is the importance of Ahara, Vihara, Achar, Vichar for holistic wellness, physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being. That's it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Katoch. I would like to know if Dr. Mukta, you would like to add something to what she just shared and how you go about it.
Dr. Katoch has covered almost everything, but the word that we use for health in Ayurveda or in Hindi that you've come across is swasthya. So swasthya, if you break it up, it is a combination of 2 words, swa and sthiti. So to be placed in oneself. So we cannot have an umbrella term for everybody that this is what is health. Health is different for each one of us. And therefore, these 4 factors of Ahar, Vihar, Achar, and Vichar, there are some general guidelines, but ultimately these are all customized and personalized to an individual. Because each of us is different. Our definition of health is going to be different. Our status, the status of health for us is going to be different. And therefore, Ahar, Vihar, Achar, and Vichar, apart from the general guidelines, they're going to be different for us. Therefore, knowing your Prakriti, knowing yourself, and knowing what exactly you need to do in these 4 is important to maintain and to prevent yourself from disease. That is.
So I think that really brings us to the next exploration, like how Dr. Katoch spoke about immunity. And we all know that in Ayurveda depends more on natural immunity than other than drugs and everything. So when you say that the do's and don'ts of daily life which protect us and build immunity for us, would you like to share the do's and don'ts in relation to the immunity building and strengthening ourselves?
This is a burning topic of today. As the corona is coming up, 2 years already passed, lot of work being done on immunity, how to improve immunity and how to remain corona free. This is also, so therefore this is a burning topic of today. But when we talk about immunity in Ayurveda, immunity है हमारा बल, हमारी शक्ति. क्या शक्ति? रोगों से लड़ने की शक्ति. The power to defend ourselves and to fight with the diseases. Now that power cannot be built in a day. It cannot be built in a day. It starts from right at the time of conception in Ayurveda. शुक्र और शोणित का जब संयोग हो रहा है, when the sperm and ovum, they are uniting to produce a zygote, immunity starts from then. The Shakti of sperm and the Shakti of ovum. How much immunity these two have, once they are now combining to produce a zygote, the immunity starts from there. Then the role comes of the pregnant woman. Complete Garbhani Paricharya. That is completely written in Ayurveda. Once a lady is pregnant, what are the do's and don'ts? So that she also remains healthy and the child who is supposed to be born also remains healthy. So Jacha and Bacha care. First this, once the child is within the body, then is once the child comes out of the body. In both the conditions. Do's and don'ts of Jacha and Bacha. Immunity wahan se aati hai. That this whole is, the child is born with some particular immunity, which is called Sahaj Bal. Natural immunity of a child. So a child will be born with strong bal only when the Shukra and Shonit jo combine kar rahe hain, plus during pregnancy, the lady is taking care of the do's and don'ts, and these do's and don'ts are for all, for Ahara, Vihara, Achar, Vichar, चारों है. ये पूरे description आयुर्वेद में है गर्भनी परिचर्या की पूरे 9 महीनों. And before the child is supposed to be born, uski bhi. So we need to follow these guidelines. Now once the child is born, उसके बाद हमारी आती है कालज बल। कालज बल इज काल के अनुसार। काल कौन सा हो सकता है? हमारी एज भी हो सकती है काल, हमारा सीजन भी हो सकता है काल। दो काल है, उत्तरायण काल एंड विसर्ग काल। 6 months, 1 year has 2 काल, one is उत्तरायण काल, one is visarga kaal. 6 months in each kaal. Then these 6 months further have seasons. So this all is kalaj bal. That is why in Ayurveda we have lot of knowledge in seasonal change, because season affects us. मौसम के हिसाब से हमारे में बल आता है. So we need to make changes in our diet, in our activities, so that we maintain that bal. This is called kalaj bal. The third bal is called yuktikrit bal. Yuktikrit bal is complete Ayurvedic lifestyle. Complete work upon ahara, vihara, achar, vichar. चारों पर प्रतिदिन जब आप काम करते हैं, ये सारी चीजें सहज बल, कालज बल, युक्तिकृत बल. The person who understands this concept starts working upon it, then that person doesn't have to depend upon vaccines. Because in the present, I am talking this in an open forum, because in present scenario also, if we take corona, yes, vaccine is there. क्योंकि लोग करते ही नहीं ना अपने ऊपर काम. जब अपने ऊपर काम ही नहीं करोगे तो वैक्सीन तो लेना पड़ेगा ना. एटलीस्ट जो चल रहा है उसके अगेंस्ट इम्यूनिटी तो आनी पड़ेगी. So that is how the vaccine is giving immunity. But the variant is changing. वो वायरस डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स के रूप में आ रहा है. अब आप हर बार नई वैक्सीन लेते रहोगे, सो सिलसिला क्या बनेगा? एवरी ईयर यू नीड टू टेक अ वैक्सीन, विच इज अ कल्चर इन यूरोप. फ्लू आ गया, हर साल वैक्सीन लो. So what is happening is our immunity is being dependent upon that vaccine, जो कि बाहर से, it is a foreign body entering into our body. Why should I allow a foreign body to enter in my body? I don't want. But then we have to work upon ourselves. या तो अपने ऊपर काम करो या फिर वैक्सीन लो. दोनों का प्रभाव क्या है? इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाना. दोनों का प्रभाव है इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाना. So the person who has worked upon Sahaj Bal, Kalaj Bal and Yuktikrit Bal, taken the knowledge, working upon that on a daily schedule, then that person, I don't think so, requires vaccine. क्योंकि उसके अंदर वो बल आ जाता है जो हर तरह के माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म से फाइट करने की शक्ति आती है. बट अगर हम वो नहीं कर सकते, then it is important to take vaccine, because the ultimate result of either vaccine or this is to build up that defense mechanism that we can fight with diseases. So this is how we say that the concept of immunity in Ayurveda is this.
Dr. Katoch, I'm sure you didn't mean it, but some people might interpret that either we can work on ourselves or we can go in for the vaccine, as if the two are interchangeable.
I didn't.
So I thought we better sort of.
Because I can't go against the government rules also.
I would just like to add something here. So Dr. Katoch focused upon the Garbhini Paricharya and how all the other factors are important. So there's apart from the Garbhini Paricharya, there is a detailed description about Ritu Charya, Din Charya, Ratri Charya, and various other factors, Achar Rasayan, which ma'am mentioned, which are primarily important for developing the immunity of the body, the bala of the body. And there's a beautiful shloka that comes in our classical text in Charak Samhita and Ashtang Hridaya, which says, Nityam hitahara vihara sevi, samikshakari vishayeshva saktaha, data samaha satya parah chamavan, aptopasevi cha bhavatya roga. So these are a few characteristics. It might just sound ki bahut sara Sanskrit bol diya maine, but I'll just explain it to you. So these words are just pointing towards a person who stays healthy always. By that they mean that a person who is not afflicted by diseases easily, and if he or she is afflicted by diseases, then they're able to recover from it very quickly. So it is basically referring to the immunity and the strength of the body. And these factors are Nityam Hita Ahara Vihara Sevi. That means a person who is always conscious about what he is eating, what he is doing throughout the day. Samikshakari. That means he analyzes what is good and what is bad for me. He's objective. Vishayeshva Saktaha. So Vishaya refers to the objects of our senses. What we see, what we put inside our body, what we taste, what we touch. So all the sense organs, whatever objects of the senses are, we are not too much attached to them. We need them. We know that we need them for our sustenance, but we are not attached and too much dependent on them. Data. Data means a person who involves in charity, who gives. Samaha. Samaha is the ability to maintain equanimity. No matter the ups and downs, no matter whatever troubles come in your life, no matter how happy or how sad you are able to maintain a certain level of equanimity. Satya Paraha. That means a person who believes in truthfulness. Then Shamavan, who is forgiving. And Aptopasevi. Aptopasevi is very important and it's not being followed nowadays because whatever guidelines have been told in our authentic text, we are questioning them, not trying to understand what is the logic behind it, just questioning them कि ये तो इतना पुराना लिखा हुआ है आज की डेट में not relevant. So Aptopasevi is one of the factors which is important for staying healthy. So these are few of the points which add in addition to whatever ma'am has said.
Thank you, Dr. Mukta. In fact, I wanted to ask you, like you mentioned about how swasthya is very individual and everybody is very different, and you mentioned Prakriti. And we also see in Ayurveda, most of us, like common people, are more concerned about the diet element of it, that what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. And so what, in your understanding, if you can share, what is the relationship between, say, Prakriti and diet, and what is the role of season change in diet? And if you can give us few tips for just to become more aware of this whole process.
So when we talk about Prakriti, it is something very similar to what you would say is genetic. Okay, if you want to understand it very simply, you can say that it is genetic. So what happens is, we know that the environment or the cosmos is made of 5 elements. Okay, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal and Prithvi. These are the 5 elements that make the cosmos. And these 5 elements make this cosmos also. This in itself is a whole universe. This body in itself is a whole universe. So this body also is made up of the 5 elements. Now, these 5 elements, when they are concise, they form the 3 doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So Akash and Vayu forms Vata, Jal and Agni forms Pitta, and Jal and Prithvi forms Kapha. These are the 3 doshas. In Ayurveda, what happens is everything is explained. Your body, your food, everything is explained on the basis of these 3 doshas and the qualities of these 3 doshas. So when we say that what is your Prakriti, we are actually trying to assess in your physical body, we are trying to assess your Vata, Pitta and Kapha. What are the percentages of these in your body? That means ultimately we are looking at the 5 elements. What is the proportion of each 5 elements in your body? Also, when we are talking in terms of mind, we are looking at the proportions of Sattva, Raja and Tama. Okay, that is what we are looking at. Now, when we're talking of the body composition, this body composition does not change. At the time of fertilization, what has happened has happened. There are certain factors that can influence Prakriti, but it cannot change Prakriti. Your Prakriti can only change when you're nearing death or you are dead. Okay, before that, it cannot. So it is like the genetic makeup. You can have some mutations, you can have some modifications, like we say, there are histone modifications. Okay, these kind of things can happen, which are the influencing factors that cause it. But no major change can be done to the Prakriti. Similarly, contrary to that, your mental Prakriti can change. You can make some slight changes to Sattva, Raja and Tamas based on the kind of Ahara, Vihara, Achar and Vichar you are following. So we were talking about how the diet has to change according to your Prakriti. So whatever food we are consuming, that food will also have Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It will have the qualities. If you know your Prakriti, you'll be able to consume the food based on that. So the basic thumb rule is whatever Prakriti you have, you have to consume food opposite in quality to that. So हमारा क्या होता है, like for example, if I say I am Kapha Vata Prakriti, okay, and I have a tendency or a liking towards sweet and sour food, but it is not good for me. I have to rather consume things that are bitter in taste, little astringent in taste, because that will balance the kapha and the pitta in my body. So, but what happens is most of us end up consuming what our prakriti is, and that is what becomes the cause of the disease. So I think Dr. Katoch can add more on this. Ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Very well explained. See, Prakriti is with what you are born. And everything goes around Prakriti. Your nature, your mental composition. And this is what I want is that this knowledge actually should go to schools. Every person should know his or her own Prakriti. Why? Because what I feel is in the schools, we have general health checkups for the students. In general health checkup, what comes is your height, your weight, your teeth, your eyes, and any disease you are having, whether you are entering into obesity, BMI check ho jayega. These are the major things which ends up into the health checkup of a person. And if child is suffering from any disease, then the treatment. But what I personally feel is, why we go towards diseases first? Ayurveda lays lot of stress upon prevention from diseases, preservation and promotion of health. This is basically the objective of Ayurveda. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikar prashamanam. This is the objective of Ayurveda. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. स्वस्थ व्यक्ति के स्वास्थ्य की रक्षा करना. Major objective of Ayurveda. And this what comes is prevention from diseases, preservation and promotion of health. When I say health, it is holistic wellness. So once we come to know about our Prakriti, then with that, we also come to know that I am prone to what types of diseases. Like I am Pitta Kapha. So if I'm Pitta Kapha means I am prone to pathic disorders and Kapha disorders. So I come to know this. Once I come to know this, then I will have the management program that I don't want to have these diseases. How to prevent them? I have the whole programming with me. And this whole programming is based on what? Ahara, Vihara, Achara, Vichar. According to my Prakriti, what will be my food, what will be my daily schedule, what should be my behavior, how I should think. So once I know all these and once I know my Prakriti, I can prevent myself from all sorts of disorders. Then I remain healthy. Then I also get to know the holistic health promoting guidelines according to my Prakriti. That how I can end up into preservation and promotion of health. Because Prakriti means, supposing if I'm a Vata dominating person, then that Vata is dominant in me, but that Vata is not producing any disease till I manage it. Dominance of Vata is there, but that is my Prakriti. That is my nature. So my nature is not going to produce any disease to me. It will produce a disease once it crosses its threshold. Once that threshold is crossed and I am bent upon increasing Vata by eating that type of food which increases Vata, by doing that type of activities which increase Vata, by entering into that type of behavior which increase Vata, by entering into that type of thoughts which increase Vata, then my threshold of Vata will increase. Then that level will be crossed and I will be more prone to diseases of Vata. So therefore, once I come to know about my Prakriti, I can prevent myself from diseases. I can enter into preservation and promotion of health. And if I end up into any diseases, then I myself can become the manager of my own health, because I will come to know with the knowledge which I gain that if this disease has happened, where did I go wrong? What wrong thing I did in Ahara, what in Vihara, what in Achar, what in Vichar, I just need to stop that. And the treatment comes. I just need to stop that. That is what, because I am basically a Prakriti analyst. This is my basic MD research work, which I passed out in 1990, so more than 30 years now. So in this, after doing a Prakriti analysis, I give a holistic health promoting guidelines. So in that, what happens is I scrutinize the causes. This is the major difference between allopathic treatment and Ayurvedic treatment. Major difference. In Ayurvedic treatment, once we need to, the first test in Ayurveda which is done for giving a fitness program or for giving treatment plan. In both the things, the first test which is done is the Prakriti analysis. So Prakriti analysis, then going ahead with holistic health promoting guidelines, that is the beauty of Ayurveda, because we scrutinize all the causes. Where did you go wrong in Ahara, where in Vihara, where in Achar, where in Vichar, which is not conducive to your Prakriti, which is going to hamper your Prakriti. So what becomes the first line of action for treatment? Karan se karya ki utpatti hoti hai. There is a cause and effect. So the treatment is stop the causes. So once we scrutinize the causes, we stop the causes, then we work upon holistic health promoting guidelines. That becomes the beauty of Ayurveda. And that is what is the individualized approach of Ayurveda.
While you were sharing about all these factors of becoming individually attentive to what goes on, but we also understand that we live in relation to the world, like for example, we live in families or communities. So there's one aspect which is very much like Prakriti oriented, that I have to have that food. But there are two other factors like environmental, seasonal change. So how does season change affect Prakriti? Plus, like if I'm living in a community, there are so many people with different Prakriti eating the same kind of food, because we are eating, say, in a community kitchen or in a family of 5 or 10. So how do, like, there are two questions to it. Like one, how does the seasonal change in Prakriti influence, interact? And second, when more than one type of Prakriti people eat together same kind of food, how does it work? So if these two questions, one by one, whichever you want to take up first.
See, the first question is a very bad, this one, the community part. In a family, suppose 4 or 5 persons are there and same food. We cannot prepare 5 types of food. Same food is prepared. Similarly, in the hostel, or even like, for example, we are staying in the ashram. So ashram has a common dining hall. So everybody has to eat there. Now, a person knows his or her own Prakriti, what that person can do. The food will be same. The person can make minor changes. Like, for example, the simple thing what we can do is, we drink water with food, either before food or a little water with food. So the water which we drink with food should be hot. It should never be cold. Cold water is never drunk with food in Ayurveda. Now that hot food, the people should know what is good and bad for me as far as the herbal tea is concerned. So what we can do is, we use the Indian spices according to our Prakriti. Like if there is a common dining area, then that common dining area should have these different Indian spices separately in different bottles. Now, what can the Prakriti person do? Suppose there is coming up a person who is Kapha dominating. Now, Kapha dominating will take cinnamon, powder of cinnamon, just put a pinch of powder in the glass and put hot water in it. Now, that will be the herbal tea for Kapha person, working upon his or her own Prakriti. Suppose there is a Pitta person. Now, what the Pitta person will do? There is either fennel, सौंफ होगी, इलायची होगी, cardamom होगा. So uska powder बना के रख ले, or direct you keep that. Put that a pinch in your cup or your glass and put hot water in that. Now that becomes a herbal tea for Pitta person. Now if there is a Vata person, What I'm saying, this can work for both Vata as well as Kapha. This is called Trikatu. Trikatu is a combination of three things: Sont, Marich, Pipli. So we keep a powder of this, and then we just put a pinch of powder, put water, and that becomes a drink. So these drinks we can consume with food. That works upon our Prakriti according to Vata, Pitta, Kapha. If a person is too much into anxiety and mind is totally disturbed, so Manasik Prakriti mein wo Rajasik, Tamsik ki taraf ja raha hai, then that person can have mulethi. Mulethi calms the mind. So mulethi ko leke pinch of mulethi, hot water, and that is a drink. So this works according to Prakriti. Then the food which is there. If it is a common dining area, the food, or there will be on an average 2-3 types of food materials. एक दाल होगी, एक सब्जी होगी, या दो सब्जियां होगी, एक करी होगी, मटर पनीर हो गया, ABCD, anything. So, for example, a Pitta person is there. There can be pickles also. There can be curd also. So now if a Pitta person is there, person has to pick and choose according to my Prakriti what is good and bad for me. The Pitta person should not consume curd. Even Kapha person will not consume curd. Pitta person will also not consume pickles. So any sour, salty or spicy item, this Pitta person should not choose. We go with the taste. There are 6 tastes. Madhur, Amla, Lavan, Katu, Tik, Kashai. So according to Prakriti, we come to know which taste is good for me and which taste is bad for me. So accordingly, what food items are there, we can pick and choose. So if a Pitta person is there, so for Pitta person, Amla, Lavan, Katu, sour, salty and spicy food are not good. They increase Pitta. So Pitta person should avoid those tastes. But Madhur, Tikta, Kashai, sweet, bitter and astringent tastes are good for Pitta. So Pitta can consume those tastes. Similarly is for Vata. So Vata and Kapha are totally opposite to each other. The only thing common is cold. So Vata and Kapha person should not consume iced tea, cold coffee, cold drinks, aerated and carbonated drinks. These should not be consumed by Vata and Kapha person. But what they can consume is the tastes which are Katu, Tik, Kashai, the Vata person. Vata person can take Madhuram, Lavan, and Kapha person can take Katu, Tik, Kashai. So this is how with taste, sweet, sour, salty, these 3 tastes, they increase Kapha. So therefore a Kapha person should not consume more of these tastes. Now what should a Kapha person consume? Katu, Tikta, Kashai. These 3 tastes, they decrease Kapha. So Katu is pungent, Tikta is bitter, Kashai is astringent. So Kapha person can take food materials which are mainly of these 3 tastes. Similarly, Vata is just the opposite. So Madhur, Amla, Lavan, they pacify Vata. So Vata person can take all desserts. Jitne bhi desserts hai. Halwa khaye, meetha khaye, kheer khaye, all these things are very good for Vata person. All dairy desserts. So all dairy desserts are very good for Vata person. So they can consume all these desserts. So Madhur, Amla, Lavan are good for Vata person. But Katu, Tik, Kashai are not good. The spicy, pungent and astringent are not good for Vata because they increase Vata. So this knowledge has to be there, and it is very easy to pick and choose in a common dining area or either in the family. So this is how we can go ahead. So this is the answer, in brief answer for the how to choose a food item according to our Prakriti, but in a community kitchen. Now the second question was regarding the seasonal dietetics. So seasonal dietetics according to Prakriti. Season are 6 in Ayurveda. In each kal we have 3 seasons. So in one kal we have Shishir, Basant, Grishma. So Shishir, like right now we are having the Uttarayan kal. So it starts from January. So 2 months, January, February, 15 January to 15 March is the Shishir, which is the winters. Then now just went is the Basant Ritu. And now what we are doing is the Grishma Ritu, which is a summer season. After this will come the Varsha Ritu, the rainy season. Then will come the Sharad Ritu, which is the autumn season. And then will come the Hemant Ritu, which is early winters, which is November, December till 15 January. So now this is the change of season. Season affects us. Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. So जो ब्रह्मांड में चेंज होता है वो चेंजेस हमारे अंदर होते हैं. We need to honor, we need to respect, we need to know that. So these changes happen that first we go ahead with the Ritu Sandhi Kal. Ritu Sandhi, there are 3 types of Ritu Sandhi. That means 2 ऋतुएं आपस में जब combine कर रही हैं, that is the Ritu Sandhi area. So first is that right now we are into summer season. Summer के बाद next आ रही है वर्षा ऋतु. So अब से लेके till 15th August ये हमारा season है ऋतु संधि का, where the Ritu Sandhi affects our physical strength, affects our mental strength, affects our digestive strength. तो ये 2 season, ग्रीष्म एंड वर्षा, ये तीनों पावर हमारी सबसे लो होती. All the 3 power are low. Therefore, in summers and in rainy season, physical workout बहुत ज्यादा नहीं करना चाहिए, mental workout बहुत ज्यादा नहीं करना चाहिए, और भोजन, food बहुत ज्यादा नहीं खाना चाहिए. Because the capacity, the power of our digestive fire is low. Therefore, gastroenteritis is very common in summers and in rainy season. Because we don't stop eating. We eat all those things every season. So we need to go ahead with seasonal dietetics. Now in this season, Grishma Ritu and coming up Varsha Ritu is the cause of Vata. So Vata dosh is dominating in Varsha Ritu. So all those persons who are Vata dominating persons, or they are into combination of Vata Pitta, Vata Kapha, or combination of all the 3, Vata Pitta Kapha, they need to be very aware. Because Varsha Ritu is the Kal of Vata, and a person who already has a dominance of Vata should not consume that type of food which increases Vata. Now, what food increases Vata? We go either with taste or with quality. So taste means Katutik Kashai taste, zyada nahi khane chahiye. Quality means the quality of Vata is Ruksha Shito Laghu Sukshma Chalo Tvishta Khara. So what happens is Ruksha, dry food, lot of salad, lot of fiber should not be consumed because they increase Vata. So therefore we add cold items. What happens is summer season aaya nahi, high garmi start. High garmi means now we enter into cold drinks. The usual cold drinks which we take is aerated and carbonated drinks. Iske baad then we go to lemon drink, shikanjvi banali, that we take. The third we go ahead with dahi ki lassi. Lassi is very good, thandak aa jati hai. These are wrong concepts. Wrong concepts according to Ayurveda. गर्मियों में दही का सेवन नहीं करते. इवन इसके बाद वर्षा ऋतु में भी दही का सेवन नहीं करते. उसके बाद शरद ऋतु में भी दही का सेवन नहीं करते. So daily consumption of curd is not good in Ayurveda, specifically these three seasons. What people think is dahi ठंडा होता है. Because of that, they consume dahi ki lassi. But ठंडा गरम concept is in Ayurveda. ठंडा गरम concept is not in modern dietetics. Because when I did my DNHE, Diploma in Nutrition and Health Education, यही मेरा main comparative study था. Modern dietetics and Ayurvedic dietetics. So एक line थी book में. All these things, ये ठंडा है, गरम है, this is cold, hot, this is dry. These are all deleted terminologies. But this is not so. This is Ayurvedic terminology and very valid. Very valid. And the community knows about it. The community of today doesn't know about it because ये ज्ञान ही लुप्त हो रहा है. बंदे ज्ञान लेते ही नहीं. So dahi is actually not ठंडा. It is garam. It is not ठंडा. Ulta छाछ ले. छाछ is recommended in this season. समर्स. बट व्हाट इज छाछ? जब हम पब्लिक को छाछ पूछते हैं, यस यस आई टेक छाछ, आई टेक बटर मिल्क, तो आजकल तो मुझे क्वेश्चन करना पड़ता कि व्हाट इज बटर मिल्क. You know, I put only this much curd and rest water. So then I tell them, ma'am, is this buttermilk? Yeah. I said, this is not buttermilk. This is diluted lassi. This is diluted dahi ki lassi. This is not buttermilk. Buttermilk का concept ही भूल गए लोग. What is buttermilk? Buttermilk होता है दही को भिगोए, churning of curd, and then the butter comes up. And the white liquid which is left behind is called buttermilk. The color of that liquid is white like milk, and the butter has come up. So that is buttermilk. So the quality of buttermilk is entirely different than the quality of curd. Curd blocks the channels, buttermilk opens the channels. So therefore, buttermilk is okay, but the type of buttermilk which you are consuming is not in the form of diluted lassi. So summer season, अब जैसे season के हिसाब से हम dietetics पे जाएं, summer season में किस तरह का भोजन करना चाहिए. So the food which we should consume is, it should be sweet in taste. उसमें चिकनाई होनी चाहिए, dry नहीं होना चाहिए भोजन, चिकनाई होनी चाहिए. And the food should be cold, शीतल भी होना चाहिए. And the food should be द्रव, means liquid ज्यादा होना चाहिए. This is the quality of food which should be consumed in summer season. अब हम जब ठंडा liquid बोल देते हैं तो people go to Scandinavia and all. But what is ठंडा liquid? ठंडा liquid are all the शरबत्स. बेल का शरबत, खस का शरबत, चंदन का शरबत, रोडो का शरबत. These are the गुलाब का शरबत. इन सब की तहसीर ठंडी होती. ये हमें एक्चुअल ठंडक पहुंचाते. Not Coca-Cola, not लस्सी also. So लस्सी में क्या है? लस्सी लिक्विड है, लस्सी में चिकनाई है, लस्सी में हम चीनी डाल देते हैं तो वो मीठी बन जाती है, बट लस्सी गर्म है. सो हमें तो इस सोच से हम लस्सी पीते. सो देयरफॉर ये जो हम कंसेप्ट्स भी बोलते हैं, इसका मतलब that it's not that you should not drink lassi at all. Causes are always, once you are consuming something every day, that becomes the cause of a disease. Once a while, if you are having anything, that does not become cause of a disease. So therefore, discipline जितना important है, indiscipline उतना ही important होता है. So indiscipline भी रखना चाहिए जिंदगी में. नहीं तो वो अजय देवगन का अजामाला सटकली वाली जो बात होती है ना, हम सनकी हो जाते हैं जाते, तो वो भी नहीं होना, वो भी नहीं होना. But if we are having a discipline 6 days a week and we enter into indiscipline once a week, doesn't matter. तो लस्सी पीनी है हफ्ते में एक बार या 2 हफ्ते में एक बार लस्सी पी लीजिए, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट डेली रूटीन, यस प्रॉब्लम. बट इसमें अगेन एक चीज आती है, कोई व्यक्ति सात्म्यता की तरफ चले, गलत चीज को रूटीन में लगातार सेवन करते हैं, एंड दैट बिकम्स अ हैबिट एंड द बॉडी एक्सेप्ट्स इट. बॉडी एक्सेप्ट कर लेती, फिर वो उसके लिए गलत नहीं होती. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, दिस इज थोड़ा सा हटके पॉइंट. अपने जो आश्रम में तारा दीदी है, वो कहती है तेरे पास ट्रीटमेंट के लिए नहीं आना. क्यों नहीं आना? तू मेरा दही बंद करा देगी. She always says this. और उनके लिए दही ज्यादा नुकसानदायक इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि वो बचपन से डेली दही खाती, तो उनको दही साथ में हो गया है. उनके एक एक सेल में, जिसको कहते हैं ना, उसने समा लिया है दही ने पूरा बॉडी में. सो देयरफॉर दही डज नॉट प्रोड्यूस अ रॉन्ग इफेक्ट इन हर. बट दिस इज नॉट विद एवरीवन. आई हैड वन पेशेंट जिसने उड़द को साथ में किया था, जो ब्लैक दाल, जो उड़द की दाल है. उड़द की दाल ऑल्सो शुड नॉट बी कंज्यूम डेली, बट दैट पर्सन यूज्ड टू कंज्यूम उड़द दाल एवरी डे. So when he came to me and I said, भाई साहब उड़द जो है वो बंद करना. वो तो मैं बंद नहीं कर सकता. क्यों नहीं कर? मैडम मैं 65 years का हो गया, मैं तो रोज उड़द खाता हूँ. देन मुझे समझ आया ये तो इसको साथ में हो गया. मैं कहा भाई खाओ. So you go ahead, but just decrease the quantity. So therefore, there are a number of factors, as Dr. Mukta said, that there are a number of factors which we need to work upon, and it varies from person to person. Therefore, generalized approach कुछ होती है, but individualized approach बहुत important. So this is what it is.
One question about charge.
Yes.
We churn the lassi, let the butter come up,
Yeah.
but then we remove that butter and consume only what is left behind, isn't it? That will be charge.
Yes.
Then what do we
Yes.
do with the butter? You said that in this season we should also have chiknai, which means can that butter then be used somewhere else during the
Yes.
same, on the same day?
Yes. First area to use butter is once a week. Go ahead with paranthas and have butter with paranthas. Excellent. Then is whatever soups we are drinking, we can add half teaspoon of this butter in that soup. We can use this butter to apply on the chapatis. Roti pe jaise ghee lagate hain, roti pe is butter ko laga rahe hain. So we can use this direct consumption of this butter with food. Like I said, parantha ke saath makhan kha lijiye. Once a week we can have it. We can put this butter in our soups, in our food, in our dal. That also we can do. And we can apply the butter on the roti, chapatis. That way also we can consume. And it is very good. Navneet butter is very good. It's very good. So this is the way how we can consume. And therefore, in summers, it is always said, ghee to वैसे घी का सेवन रोजाना हर सीजन में किया every day.
I would also like to add something, sir, that jo butter you can consume it directly also, and if you're not consuming it, then you can make ghee out of that butter. So that's what you can do at home. It's always good to have ghar ka prepared ghee, so you can use that for making.
So all traditional knowledge. I was reminded of my nani. She used to do exactly that. She would churn the lassi. The butter would come up, take out that butter, give only the lassi, and then that butter was put on top of a paratha. So
that's what it is.
So that paratha with butter and lassi was an excellent combination. That's one of the best memories of a tasty breakfast that I remember.
That's what, sir. That is what I say. This traditional knowledge is going away. And I also now am of that. I always prepare all this at home. And the beauty, what I feel is I teach Ayurvedic cooking, and all these the foreigners are learning from me. और Indians के पास समय ही नहीं है. भारतीय कहते हैं समय नहीं है, foreigners हमारा ज्ञान लेके जा रहे हैं. So all those who are listening, please come back to this traditional knowledge. This is excellent for giving strength to our body.
I think before we really move on to the audience, if they have any questions, I would really like to hear from Dr. Mukta, like what are her thoughts on the season and if she can give her opinion, and then we open for the participants to ask.
On the same two questions?
That is the season, and also one more thing I wanted to add, the third point, that even with age, like how Dr. Katoch said, no, for so many years. So even with age, I think the changes in diet happens. So what are your thoughts on that, if you can just share with us?
So see, like we told earlier, everything in Ayurveda is explained in terms of Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So our age also, we take that our lifespan of a human is 100 years. So that lifespan is again divided into 3 phases. So 0 to 16 years is Balyavastha, which is Kapha predominant age. So during this time period, your Kapha dosha is predominant in the body because all building up action is happening. All muscles of the body are building, you're growing in height. So all these things are happening in the body, and this is a Kapha predominant phase. Then from your 17 years to your 70 years of age, this is the time period of Pitta. You have a lot of strength, vigor, vitality, you have energy, and this is the time of maximum productivity. So from 17 to 70 years of age is your Pitta predominant time. And then above 70 years is your Vata predominant time. Because gradually your body tissues will start depleting, your activities will become less, and Vayu will start increasing in the body, and degeneration will be more progressive in this stage. So food is also according to that. Now in the Balyavastha also, we have the first 6 months when the child is born, 0 to 6 months is called as the phase of Shirapa. Okay, that means this is the phase when only milk is supposed to be consumed, 0 to 6 months. Then the next phase is Shirannada. 6 months to 1 year is the time when the child is dependent on both milk and food. So your weaning will start, and after that, the child will be consuming both milk and food. After 1 year of age, the phase is called as Annada. That means a major proportion of the diet of a child is supposed to be Anna and not milk. The major mistake that parents do is that along with food, they will give a lot of milk to the child even after 1 year of age, which is actually not needed because his nutritional supplementation is happening through the food that he is consuming. So a lot of milk can usually lead to overnutrition. So this is the age when there has to be lesser quantity of milk and major nutrition has to be through your food. Then after that, till 16 years of age, you can consume, let's say, whenever you feel hungry. So you can consume like 3 meals a day. And for children below like 4 years of age, it usually takes around 3 to 4 to 5 meals a day or 6 meals a day. Sometimes when the child is on milk, it can be milk every 3 hours or every 4 hours. So the frequency of the food is more, but the quantity of food is less. Once you approach adulthood, that means plus 16 years, you have to gradually aim at reducing the frequency of meals, and the quantity will depend upon the Agni, that is the digestive capacity of your body. The quantity is not same. I cannot say that an adult needs 2,500 calories. Okay, I cannot define it like that. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, what is your Prakriti, what is the status of your Agni? Basis that your food quantity will be decided. So you have to, the basic thumb rule is listen to your body. Okay, it's not that you have to drink 4 liters of water or consume 2,500 calories. The thumb rule is listen to your body. Your body will tell you what you need to eat, how much you need to eat, what you need to drink, when to drink. Simple, as simple as that. Okay. So with age, once we are 16 plus, we need to aim at consuming 2 meals a day. Unless you are into excessive physical workout. So for sports professionals, because they are burning a lot of food, they require a lot of energy and they're into excessive physical exertion, those people can go into 3 meals a day. But otherwise, for a normal adult who is doing a regular or a standard amount of work throughout the day and not into too much of physical workout, 2 meals a day is sufficient. So there's a saying in Ayurveda which says, Ek kal bhoji yogi. So a person who consumes 1 meal a day is called a yogi. Dvi kal bhoji bhogi. Okay, a person who consumes 2 meals a day is bhogi. So all of us are bhogi because we are involved into the materialistic or the worldly things. We are doing work for the society. So we are all involved in that. So we are all bhogi. Okay. And the third one is Trikal bhoji rogi. Okay. So which means that a person who consumes 3 meals a day is ultimately proceeding towards a disease status. So हम लोग तो आजकल बात करते हैं of 5 meals a day, break the meal into 5 small meals a day. So this is not at all right according to Ayurvedic dietetics. 2 meals a day for an adult. And after that, when we are crossing 70 years of age, because it's the Vayu Kala, your Agni will gradually start coming down. So with that, you should move towards consuming 2 or 1 meal a day, so that the digestive fire can be maintained. So this is how you manage. And then again, quality, the quality of food. Like in children, what happens is nowadays, a lot of people start giving nuts and they don't give sugars and they don't give milk to their children, which is not good because milk and ghee, they are rasayan. They are supposed to be consumed by everybody throughout life, but in varying proportion, according to your prakriti, according to your disease, according to the time. The proportion needs to be changed, but milk and ghee are something which are not supposed to be excluded from your diet at all because they are rasayan. So this is how you will manage your diet with age.
There are a lot more questions which are like building on what we are sharing, but we will pause for now for our discussion and continue the next session we have. Now I'll go to the participants' question in the chat box. So I can read them out and you can answer. That's how we move ahead. So I'll just quickly open the chat.
If it's okay, I can take up a question.
Yes. So could you please give type of food and other 3 Vihara, Acharya, etc. For example, for Vata Prakriti, if you can just briefly share.
Dr. Surinder, can you take that question?
For Vata Prakriti?
Yes, Ahara, Vihara, Acharya, Vichar for Vata.
Ahara, Vihara. See, Vata Prakriti means that person has the qualities of Vata. The qualities of Vata are Ruksha, Shito, Laghu, Sukshma, Chalavat. Means there is dryness, there is coolness, हाथ पैर ठंडे रहते हैं उसके. Fine. Ruksha, Shito, Laghu, that person is underweight, thin, short or thin and tall. So person is usually underweight. So इसमें what type of food we need to eat in Vata Prakriti is that भोजन में चिकनाई जरूर होनी चाहिए. There has to be चिकनाई in food in the form of घी specifically. ये जरूर खाना है. ठंडी चीजें उसको नहीं खानी है. टेस्ट में मधुर अम्ल लवण, मीठी चीजें, खट्टी चीजें, नमकीन चीजें, ये चीजें वो खा सकते हैं. और कटोतिक कषाय जो स्पाइसी है, बिटर है, एस्ट्रिंजेंट है, इनको कम करना है. Vata person should not consume lot of leafy foods, no salads, lot of fruits should not be consumed. Oil should be there. Almond oil can be used by a Vata person. There you can put in milk, 1 teaspoon of almond oil in milk. That way you can consume it. So this is, and the hot food should be there. Cold food nahi khana, leftovers nahi khana. बार-बार बीच में munching nahi karna. There's a lot of munching. So all these junk foods, because Vata person की जो अग्नि है वो बहुत ज्यादा strong नहीं होगी. विषम अग्नि होती है. Vata person की विषम अग्नि होगी. विषम अग्नि means there is irregular. That person will be moody person. कभी उसका दिल करेगा बहुत ज्यादा खा लो, कभी उसको भूख ही नहीं लगेगी. So accordingly the person needs to pick and choose. So this type of food is first for the Vata person. This is Ahar. Vihar. In Vihar, the Vata person, because there is dryness in the skin, right from head to toe, oiling is a must. Oiling is a must. Vata person has a wandering mind. The mind is always occupied in thoughts. Therefore, it is very important for a head as well as foot massage with oil. Preferably go ahead with the daily procedure. Then for a Vata person, the next oiling is, if it is possible, weekend rejuvenation जरूर करानी चाहिए Vata person को. Like a whole body massage with the Shirodhara. This is excellent for a Vata person because Vata persons are mobile in nature. They are mobile in nature. और उस mobility से the tremors are very common in Vata person. Alzheimer's disease is very common in Vata person. So Smriti Bhransh, जो हमारी memory loss होना शुरू होता है, that is also very common in Vata person. So their anxiety, frustration, helplessness conditions. So therefore this person needs to be calm. So calmness, it is very important to go ahead for weekend rejuvenations. So weekend rejuvenations is go ahead for a whole body massage and Shirodhara. That's very important. In yoga practices also, they are very important. So first is oiling puri body ki Bihar mein zarur karni hai. Then is oiling of all apertures of the body. Just keep mustard oil in the bathroom. And once you have a shower, after that oil ko haath mein le and ungli se apply on your ears. Apply in your nose. Apply oil in the navel area, nabhi mein lagaye, and in the anus area. These are the major apertures where oiling is a must in Vihar component. Third oiling is oiling of the mouth, where dryness aa jati hai, lips फट जाते हैं, cracks aa जाते हैं lips में. So that is oiling of mouth. तो mouth में हम गंडूश therapy बोलते हैं. तो घी plus पानी, वो combination लेके मुंह में रखें and blow the cheeks. Hold and then throw. These are all daily routine things. And throw. So इसको करने से क्या है? The buccal cavities resistance is maintained. The teeth and gums are normal. The glow of the skin is maintained. It is anti-wrinkle also. and lips nahi phatte in daily routine. So this is next oiling in Vihara. Then there are nasal drops, which is called nasyam. So anu tel naam ka ek tel aata hai jiski 2 drops nasa mein every day, and this is very good in this corona phase also, because we have to keep our upper respiratory tract absolutely fit and fine. So anu tel 2 drops in each nostril every day in the morning. So this is again oiling in Vihara. Then this person, the Vata person, definitely needs to do the calming processes, whole body relaxation techniques. कुछ workout भी जरूर करे, like jogging है, because ये energetic होते हैं, उत्साह इनमें बहुत होता है, but बहुत ज्यादा कर लेंगे तो थक भी जाएंगे. So energy को maintain के लिए moderate workout is very important. अपने area of interest की चीज जरूर करें. What happens is कि in daily schedule में हम लोग इतने busy हो जाते हैं, हमारे जो interests होते हैं वो हम छोड़ देते हैं. And Vata persons are very creative. They're very creative. So उनकी creativity किसमें है? If they are painters, they should paint every day. तो वो उनका जो stress होता है ना उसमें vent out हो जाता है. If they are writers, they should write something. If they are dancers, they should dance. If they are singers, they should sing. If they are instrumental music mein hai, they should play some instrument. I had one patient who was ambassador, lot of stress, and when I did the Prakriti Pariksha, she was Vatik. So she said she was ambassador. तो उनकी जिंदगी बड़ी फेक होती है. उनका हंसने को ना दिल करे उनको हंसना पड़ता है. उनका कम्युनिटी में ना दिल करे उनको जाना पड़ता है. They have a lot of parties and all, but she was totally burnt out. So when I did the Prakriti Pariksha, do you know what treatment I gave her? I came to know in that she was a violin player. Violin बजाती थी. तो मैंने कहा, do you play, madam, violin nowadays? Oh no, from years together, no. So I said, madam, the treatment is go to the market, buy a violin. And daily in the evening when you come back from your office, play violin for 1 hour. And can you imagine, she just changed this. And she met me after 2 weeks. She came in the ashram only to me. She met me after 2 weeks and she was smiling. I said, ma'am, what happened? Wow, my life has changed just by playing violin. So she lost her area of interest. We should not lose those things. Like I am a player, I am a sports person. So I always in the evening, I go from 8 to 9 in the evening to play badminton. Till now, I play that. So all my stress is went out करना उसको जरूरी होता है और खुशी आनी जरूरी होती है. So therefore these are in the Vihara. Vihara में ये चीजें करनी जरूरी. Then is आचार, हमारा behavior. आचार में we need to work a lot. क्योंकि nowadays what has happened is जब खाना खाते हैं सब अपने अपने थाली में खाना लाया और अपनी अपनी जगह पे चले जाते हैं. कोई टीवी के सामने खाएंगे, कोई अपने बेडरूम में ले जाते हैं, कोई अपनी स्टडी टेबल पे ले जाते हैं. सो ये क्या हुआ? ये वॉन्डरिंग हुआ ना. एक दूसरे की प्लेट में खा लेते हैं, ये भी क्या हुआ? ये भी वॉन्डरिंग ही हुआ. बैठ के टिक के खाने का जो है वो वाता पर्सन में स्पेशली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज जैसे खाए अन्न वैसा हो मन. मन तो पहले ही चंचल है, मन तो पहले ही भाग रहा है और हम भोजन को लेके भाग रहे हैं. So the vata will increase. So in acharan that is very important. Then is vata persons क्रोधी होते. क्रोधी पित्ता भी होता है. गुस्सा वाता को भी आता है, गुस्सा पित्ता को भी आता है. What is the difference between क्रोध of vata and pitta? वाता का क्रोध जो आएगा, supposing it is a क्रोध to the level कि बंदा कहता है I am going to end my life, suicidal thoughts. वाता विल से मैं खत्म कर लूंगा अपने आप को, मैं खत्म कर लूंगा. वो बोलेगा पर खत्म नहीं करेगा. बिकॉज फियर भी है, फियर भी है. पित्ता पर्सन ने अगर बोल दिया कि आई एम गोइंग टू एंड माई लाइफ, वो अगले दिन अपने आप को खत्म कर लेगा, क्योंकि उसमें डिटर्मिनेशन है. पर्सन मीन्स व्हाट अ पर्सन सेज. कफा वाला आराम से बैठा रहेगा, भाई भाड़ में जाओ, मैं क्यों खत्म करूं. वो ऐसा नहीं. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज, दैट वाता पर्सन देयरफॉर, क्योंकि उसका माइंड बहुत चलता है, इरिटेशन, फ्रस्ट्रेशन, एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन में भी चला जाएगा। सो देयरफॉर इस बंदे को अपने आप को काम करना बहुत जरूरी है। उस कामनेस के लिए ऐसे वातावरण में रहना जहां वो खुश रहे, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। दीज आर इन विहार, विचार में, थॉट्स में वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि वाता पर्सन विल, बिकॉज ऑफ वॉन्डरिंग माइंड, देयर आर n number of negative thoughts coming. इधर नेगेटिव थॉट्स आएंगी या पॉजिटिव थॉट्स इतनी आएगी कि वो जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ करना चाहता है बंदा। होता क्या है, एनर्जी लॉस, करना बहुत कुछ चाहता, हो नहीं पाता, अल्टीमेटली पूरा ड्रेन्ड आउट हो जाता है। वो ड्रेन्ड आउट होके पर्सन एंड्स अप इनटू डिजीजेस एंड देन फ्रस्ट्रेशन आएगा, क्योंकि उत्साह तो है, एनर्जी तो है, बट वो नेगेटिव थॉट्स में वो एनर्जी इतनी लगा दी, सारे दिन में n नंबर ऑफ काम करके एनर्जी इतनी लगा दी, मल्टीटास्किंग करके एनर्जी इतनी लगा दी, सोच हमेशा गलत और n नंबर ऑफ डायरेक्शंस में एक ही समय पे ले जाके इतनी एनर्जी लगा दी कि अब एनर्जी होगी ड्रेन्ड, एंड नाउ द पर्सन इज नॉट एबल टू डू एनीथिंग। सो देयरफॉर सोच, उस पे काम करना बहुत जरूरी है, और उसमें योगा इज अ वेरी बिग टूल। आई ऑलवेज से, आई हैव मेड अ कोर्स आल्सो, Ayurvedic and yogic style of living. So a combination of Ayurveda knowledge and yogic knowledge and the practice of yoga, actual practice of yoga, इसका अगर combination कर देना आप, that is the ultimate for mankind, ultimate. So this is what it is.
Thank you so much, Dr. Katoch. Next question is, what Tanda do you suggest for diabetes?
ठंडा फॉर डायबिटीज इज सत्तू, जौ का सत्तू, चने का सत्तू। दिस इज फॉर एवरीबडी, ऑल्सो स्पेसिफिकली फॉर डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स। देन इज बेल जो आता है, क्योंकि फ्रूट्स की जो मिठास होती है वो इतना ज्यादा इफेक्ट नहीं करती, क्योंकि फ्रुक्टोज ज्यादा होता है, वो इतना ज्यादा इफेक्ट नहीं करती। तो गर्मियों में फल आता है बेल, जो शिव जी को भी चढ़ाया है। सो बेल फ्रूट का पल्प लेके पानी में सोक कर दें, 2 घंटे उसको सोक करें और उसको फिल्टर कर लें, वो ड्रिंक बन जाती है आपकी बेल का शरबत, विच इज फ्रेश, दैट ऑल्सो कैन बी कंज्यूम। एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स ये अभी जलजीरा टाइप जो आते हैं, क्योंकि अम्ल रस भी ले सकते हैं, सो अम्ल रस में यू कैन टेक जलजीरा ऑल्सो, बट अगर पित्ता डोमिनेटिंग है तो कई बार बर्निंग सेंसेशन हो जाती है। सो देयरफॉर इज बेस्ट वी गो, अदरवाइज ड्रिंक्स में आम का पन्ना भी आता है, बट वेरी लेस क्वांटिटी डायबिटिक्स कैन टेक, अदर्स कैन टेक गुड क्वांटिटी आम का पन्ना। इवन द कांजी इज गुड फॉर डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स ऑल्सो, कांजी भी ले सकते। सो कांजी है, बेल का सत्तू है, बेल का शरबत है, जौ का सत्तू है, चने का सत्तू है, ऑल दीज आर वेरी गुड। छाछ diabetics can take, which is actual buttermilk, that also can be taken.
All right, then there are just few questions related to, because you have spoken so much about Prakriti, people want to know if there is any online assessment which they can know what kind of Prakriti they have. Any web portal, any recommendation you have for them?
Yeah. Can I take that question?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Okay, I was curious to answer this because I've just answered this to a patient yesterday. That's why. So yes, there are online portals. There are lots of Prakriti assessments that are available online. But the problem with that is, firstly, they have very limited questions. You will find that they have around 30 to 50 questions. And secondly, when you're answering yourself, it becomes biased. So you will not answer wrong things about yourself, usually. So it is always best to get a Prakriti assessment done from a physician, from an Ayurveda physician, where you are face to face with the physician, because no matter what you are saying, we are observing you. So we're going to tick boxes based on our observation, not just based on what you are saying. So basis that, if you're aiming to change your lifestyle, manage your disease based on your Prakriti, it is important to get the Prakriti assessment right first. right? If you're going to answer wrong, your assessment is going to come out wrong. And then the health plan will also come out wrong. So therefore, Prakriti assessment, correct Prakriti assessment is very important. And for that, you just for an objective and understanding, you can go for an online one, but I would personally suggest that you should get it done from a professional.
Thank you. The next question is, if one just can't tolerate chana dal, besan, gluten, etc., what Prakriti is it?
See, on the basis of a person can't tolerate this is equal to what Prakriti? This is an invalid question, firstly, because Prakriti is not based upon this. Prakriti is not based. Prakriti is entirely a huge subject. Prakriti is what you are born with. You are not able to tolerate a particular thing at a particular age. That may depend upon different types of diseases you are having, different types of lifestyle you are dealing, different types of diet plan which you must have done. So it is dependent upon that. And it is very common nowadays to be gluten free. This I think I should take in the next class, because this is a concept coming up at the global level. भी gluten से हमें एलर्जी होगी, भाई सारा staple diet है गेहूं, but knowledge ने हमें एलर्जी दे दी. But yes, if you are intolerant to anything, then the best part is just leave it. But we can't say that you are intolerant to this, therefore you are of this Prakriti is equal to nahi ho sakta. Not possible.
These are the only questions we have in the chat box. If anybody wants to unmute and ask, we have just 2 more minutes for one last question. Okay, there's just one, sorry.
Questions which are there in the box. One is asking about the book for yoga and Ayurveda. So we have an online course. We are yet to launch a book on this, but there are many other texts. The best thing I would suggest is you can go ahead with I think Bijlani sir's book on yoga. And for Ayurveda, you can, for beginners, I would suggest you can start with Ashtanga Hridayam, which is the basic text, one of the Brihatrayas of our system. And it's very easy to understand Ashtanga Hridayam. And there is another question of if we have online services. Yes, we do. For that, I think you can connect one-to-one. How do we connect?
Yeah, how do we connect is simple. You can just have the address of our website, my number and my name, that's it. And you can connect. And the whole online programming, because Dr. Mukta is presently the managing director of Katoch Holistic Health Center. So because I have my health center, I have 2 units where I work. One is my personal unit, which is named as Katoch Holistic Health Center, which is at Humayunpur Safdarjung Enclave, Delhi. And the second is I work at the ashram, Sri Aurobindo ashram. And Tuesday and Saturdays, I come over there, give my free consultations over there. And it's a very big unit which I have in Delhi ashram. So there we have the Panchkarma unit also. There are 4 treatment rooms where I go ahead with all Panchkarma therapies, all the cleansing procedures, all the detox procedures, what usually the terminology is used nowadays and the public understands. So everything is available in Sri Aurobindo ashram. So I think you all, if you want to connect personally, you can come to the ashram. The best part over there is my consultation is free also. So I don't charge anything for my consultation. So there you can come and connect with me, or online, you can have our website and number and email, you can connect on.
All right, with that, we come to the end of today's session. We will have both our guests one more time on Thursday. So we still have a lot of questions to be answered and discussions to be done. So today we end, and thank you once again, both of you, for spending time and sharing your knowledge with us. And we'll see you soon next time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay.